It says I have ability. I should.
Fucking prove me
What the
wrong
heck?
and
I should
shit.
have unlimited for the sake
Shit,
of
if
this
you
mission.
wasn't some
But maybe
cross-eyed
not.
OCB motherfucker, I might like you.
At least, maybe
you
this
oughta know
one's
this
just
shit.
set up differently.
There's
With the
lines you don't cross.
mission for the car wash,
What lines?
it gives
The
you
fuck is
unlimited
this about?
Molotovs for the mission. Like, there
The
is
fuck
no
you think?
Molotov
Dre,
counter.
the
For this
phone,
one, it tells you how
where it
many,
is,
but
the
at least it
buck stops with
refills
you.
it for you, which is kind of
That
nice.
bullshit?
Uh-oh, we just inhaled
I
the
heard
smoke.
about all
Okay,
that,
hang
and
on.
ain't got nothing to do
We
with
got some
us.
enemies as well. Like, you
Burn
know
it.
what? That,
I
I'll use
swear.
the present for.
You gotta give me something better than your
Also,
word.
don't fly a magic
But
broomstick
Dre,
while you're
of course, it's
not sober.
Vagos.
High on the lights,
That's
I
who
like to
got
call it.
some
For this
punks looking
one,
for clout and
let's
blasting
do...
tracks all over the project out
Good
some
for
logo.
Moose and Buck Speed, my
Okay,
God.
I'm gonna make some
Let's go with
calls
that.
here.
There are a
See if
bunch of
this
enemies?
stacks up.
Okay.
I'll give Franklin a call when we know.
Al Capone, this is my weed farm. So go for some headshots? Uh-oh. I'm trying not to use snacks in there too, because that's just not what the Mafia does. Oh my lord. This thing is just fun to use, man. How can you not like using different guns? Like, I think you could just run the Special Carbine Mark II and that's it. But isn't it fun using other types of weapons and vehicles and playing different missions? Maybe it's just me, but that's how I like to play this game, that's for sure. We got more too. So back to the hip 5. Oh my lord. And oh, missed. Did I not torch the grass? It didn't even burn. Oh brother. There we go. Now it's torched. Okay. Yeah. Farm health. Ooh. I guess you have to throw a bunch more because it doesn't burn enough at just 3 if you go to all the different sections. You'd figure that would make the most sense, but I guess not. Now, I guess before we go to the third one, let me also just fill up some of my snacks, get my armor, and apply the last one. You guys are very lucky that keeping this a little bit faster pace for the video, because otherwise I'd return to those two on the ground and blow them up. Yeah, so for this one, this is where I'd like to use a shotgun. Let's use, not a super good one, actually I don't really have in the shotguns equipped, probably because I don't like using it. Let's go with something a little bit different then. Let's use maybe a heavy revolver Mark II. Oh, I don't have rounds in it. Oh no. Okay, fine. Let's go with, when was the last time you saw someone use the assault SMG? We'll just use that. I was going to use the normal SMG, but I kind of used that recently on the game, so let's use the assault SMG for this grass farm. This final one we gotta do. Goodbye. Have a good day.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reload. And okay. I'm gonna take a little bit too much damage here face sinking these guys. I swear, wait a second. It's unfortunate because a lot of these grass plants, the bullets won't penetrate them. They just count as like solid objects. So I'm having trouble hitting my shots on these guys, even though I'm aiming directly at them. Okay, now I can shot the Molotov. Let's throw one there, one here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my lord. Uh-oh. I'm on fire. I don't want to be on fire right now. That should be enough. That should absolutely be enough. As long as we keep it burning. Yeah, we're good. We're almost. Wait a second. And perfect. Alright, let's leave the area and get our money. Anyways, I'll wrap it up right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully y'all have a fantastic day. Let me know what other changes that you think need to happen in GTA. Fix some glitches, stuff like that. I hear Cayo Perico is broken in a different way now, which, you know, if that's actually a thing, I gotta research it and investigate a little bit more. But if it is a thing,
One of the most corrosive illusions in modern America is the belief that political virtue can override legal reality. That if you say the right slogan, align with the right causes, and wear the right moral uniform, you can operate above the law without consequence. But the law, at its best, is indifferent to ideology. It does not care if you're holding a protest sign or wearing a badge of progress. It only asks whether you obstructed, interfered, or violated. Brad Lander found that out the hard way. For years, the progressive elite have trafficked in the fantasy that civil disobedience, so long as it's cloaked in the right buzzwords, is untouchable. Sanctuary cities' refusal to cooperate with ICE, staged confrontations outside federal buildings, all based on the unspoken assumption that federal law is optional when it conflicts with their moral script. But there comes a point where posturing collides with jurisdiction, where the camera doesn't protect you, where federal agents don't blink. And that's exactly what happened. In less than 40 seconds, the performance unraveled. A man who expected applause got arrested. A mayoral candidate who thought he was immunized by ideology ended up in handcuffs. And the same people who claimed to stand for justice began screaming about injustice the moment the system didn't serve them. This wasn't political intimidation, it was cause and effect. The rule of law either applies to everyone or it applies to no one. What we saw wasn't ICE overreach. It was a federal agency reminding a local politician that hashtags aren't handcuffs, and obstruction is still obstruction, no matter how noble you think your intentions are. One of the most dangerous illusions in modern politics is the belief that the right ideology exempts you from the rule of law, that as long as you're on the correct side of history, consequences don't apply. But reality has a habit of overruling slogans, and on June 17th, it did so with handcuffs. Brad Lander didn't just witness a federal arrest. He experienced one because he assumed that moral theatrics could substitute for legal authority. Linking arms with a non-citizen under ICE scrutiny, demanding a judicial warrant he had no legal standing to request, and then obstructing officers mid-operation. This wasn't a legal challenge. It was a political performance that ended with a legal correction. And his reaction tells you everything. Not a just a quiet, swift application of the law. And that's precisely what made it so jarring. Because in the progressive theater of resistance, the one rule is never break character. But the second law enforcement treated this like an actual crime, the character collapsed. And that collapse, that instant where ideology met enforcement, is where this unraveling truly begins. Progressive theatrics often borrow the language of civil rights, but mimicry is not equivalent. Linking arms with a person under federal scrutiny is not peaceful protest. It is obstruction, textbook, on camera, and prosecuted accordingly. Brad Lander didn't sing spirituals on the courthouse steps. He physically inserted himself into a federal operation, demanded documents he had no authority to review, and refused to comply with agents enforcing federal law. That's not conscience-driven defiance. It's interference under color of ideology. And let's dispense with the theater. This wasn't civil disobedience. Civil disobedience acknowledges the law and accepts its consequences as a moral burden. Lander expected applause, not arrest. He believed, like many elites, that performance politics grants legal immunity. But pretending the law doesn't apply to you isn't bravery. It's delusion. This brand of obstruction isn't new. It's a hallmark of elite progressivism. Mayors flouting ICE, DAs refusing to prosecute legally, university presidents defending candidates that violate policy. Each case, the same formula applies. Break the rules, and branded as justice, apply persecution for the consequences of law. This pressure, or they reassert the limits of power. In Weimar Germany, political elites routinely undermined the authority of courts, police, and military under the guise of justice. They assumed the system would absorb the damage. It didn't. The system disintegrated. Lander's case is minor by comparison of the logic of the sin. Interfere with the law, rapid in moral language, and dare the state to push back. This time the state did. But what gave Lander the confidence to interfere in the first place? It was a myth, a viral talking point wrapped in legalism. And it begins with one word, war. When politicians start reciting legal terminology like incantations, it's usually a sign they don't understand the law. They just want to manipulate it. Do you have a judicial warrant? Was the refrain Brad Lander repeated like a ritual. Not because it applied, not because he knew what it meant, but because it's the latest progressive slogan masquerading as a legal shield. In reality, ICE doesn't need a judicial warrant to detain someone under federal immigration law. That myth, repeated endlessly in activist circles and sympathetic media, has no basis in legal doctrine. Immigration enforcement falls under civil administrative law, not criminal. That distinction is crucial. ICE operates under authority granted by Congress, and its agents can arrest non-citizens with administrative warrants issued by ICE supervisors, not judges. That's not a loophole. That's the legal framework. So when Lander demanded a judicial warrant, he was either grossly uninformed or willfully deceptive. Neither is flattering to someone who oversees billions of dollars in public funds. But this isn't about ignorance. It's about narrative control. By repeating the phrase judicial warrant, activists imply that ICE is rogue, unconstitutional, and unaccountable, when in fact it's following statutory authority granted by Congress. The goal isn't legal clarity. The goal is public confusion. Turn every arrest into a scandal. Blur the line between civil and criminal law. Intimidate agents into inaction by accusing them of violating rights they are not required to respect under existing law. This is the same misinformation strategy used on everything, from bail reform to border enforcement. Muddy the definitions, vilify enforcement, and elevate obstruction as a moral imperative. The result is chaos where law was existing. And nowhere
All right,
is
well,
that
there are
chaos
two
more
ugly
carefully
truths
choreographed
about this new
than in front of the
HIV
camera.
vaccine
Which brings
that
us
the
to the
FDA
real
approved
purpose
this
behind
week that
Lander's
the
little
media will
sidewalk
not
bill.
tell you. So look
So
at this
simple.
headline, the way that this is
Political
coming
purity,
across.
risking
Full
your future for a
approval.
principle.
Powerful
Today,
drug.
if
Listen
you
to this
stick to your
NBC News
breath
anchor
before the
breathlessly
smartphone,
excited about
Black
this
Lander
new
didn't wander
HIV
into that
vaccine.
account
But
by
what they
accident.
don't say
He
is
showed up
even
with a
more revealing than what they
press-ready narrative and
do.
a visual
Watch.
script.
Here, following some breaking news out of the FDA, the agency has just approved a new, highly effective HIV prevention medication. In clinical trials, the drug nearly eliminated the spread among people given an injection every 6 months. Joining us now with more NBC News medical fellow Dr. Akshay Syal. So, Dr. Syal, first tell us about this drug and why so many are excited about
The
it.
goal isn't to alter the law. It's to farm.
Okay, so exciting.
The
The
moment
doctor
ICE
they
touches
go on to
someone,
interview
that
says
right to
passionately
Landers
that this is
is no
better
coincidence either.
because the
1 week
current
before the mayoral primary,
HIV
when
prevention
policy
is a
arguments
daily
failed
pill.
to excite,
So people
arrest
don't take
footage
that, they
substitutes
don't
for
want to,
substance.
they don't want to
But
refill
this
their
isn't civil
prescription.
rights activism.
Now we can just give them
Influence
2
marketing
shots a
is
year. That's why
Contrast
it's
that
better.
with actual
What
civil rights
are the
pioneers.
two populations though that take this, you wonder? Like why would anyone want an HIV prevention shot? Here's what they don't say is that the two populations that should take it are gay, bisexual, and transgender people, or cisgender women and sub-Saharan Africa. It's weird, right? Like, why these two populations? Well, the sad truth is, for one of them, because of promiscuous lifestyle, and for the other, is because they get sexually assaulted all the time in sub-Saharan Africa. So it's like, we can't really stop you from getting raped without a G, but we can give you a vaccine that means you might not get AIDS when it happens. Is that better? Is that progress? So again, let's begin with these two vulnerable populations for HIV, the African women.
Structure of manufactured defiance. It's called a sanctuary city. Sanctuary cities aren't about protecting the vulnerable. They're about giving local politicians the illusion of sovereignty while daring the federal government to respond. Brad Lander is a textbook example. As a public official, he helped uphold policies that obstruct federal immigration enforcement. As a mayoral candidate, he tried to personally enforce that obstruction by standing in front of an ICE agent and demanding a judicial warrant that didn't apply. This wasn't just theater, it was policy in action, a sanctuary mindset made flesh. But this defiance isn't new. It's called nullification. The belief that a local jurisdiction can simply choose not to comply with federal law. The most famous attempt, South Carolina in 1832, they refused to enforce federal tariffs and claimed state sovereignty trumped national authority. It ended with a standoff and a force bill signed by Andrew Jackson. That was a warning, not a blueprint. And yet sanctuary politicians today are recycling that same logic. Federal law says deportation is lawful. Sanctuary cities say they'll shield illegal immigrants anyway. Federal agents issue detainers. Progressive DAs ignore them. Federal enforcement shows up. Officials interfere. That's not resistance. That's Confederacy with a new coat of paint. The difference? In the 1800s, the federal government pushed back. Today, it mostly flinches, until moments like this, when ICE refuses to play along. When they enforce the law as written rather than as reimagined. When they remind city officials that the supremacy clause still exists. What happened to Brad Lander was a rare moment of institutional clarity. A federal agency did its job. No special rules, no political accommodations, just enforcement. And that's precisely what shocked the system. Because when elites break laws, they're used to institutions looking the other way. Except this time, they didn't. In modern America, laws aren't broken equally, and they certainly aren't enforced equally, especially when the offender belongs to the political class. Normally, when elites break the law, institutions rush to redefine the term. When a progressive DA refuses to prosecute assaults, it's called reimagining justice. When Ivy League students occupy buildings, it's academic freedom. When politicians obstruct federal law, it becomes civil resistance. The more status you hold, the more elastic the rules become. That's why Brad Lander looked stunned. He did what elites do, inserted himself into a federal operation.
Did you know that
recited progressive talking
the last 5 years
and
I've
expected a pass.
So I really think so. You really do. Are you feeling my nose right now?
This wasn't an escalation.
Meet Dallas,
No
who walked into the police station
institutional
in
apology.
Hazard, Kentucky.
No memo.
A free man, just a good old boy trying to hold the police accountable, and walked out in handcuffs.
I was going to the records place and I went here earlier and this was nice and stuff.
Alden fires a loaded weapon and gets a plea deal. Prosecutors refuse to charge looters.
Until we get rid of all the liars dealing with police, from the fucking sheriff to the chief of police, we're never gonna get any good people that's good people want to be police. Because too many bad people are police, to the point where the good people don't want to be nowhere around the bad people. And then the good police are afraid of the bad police. This is really fucked up.
It didn't negotiate with celebrity or office. It executed its mandate without permission from elite consensus, which is why the next move was so predictable. Not an apology from Lander, but a pivot from perpetrator to victim, from lawbreaker to martyr, right on cue. When accountability finally catches up to a progressive politician,
wow, you can never trust a liar, and all liars should be fired. Simply because I do not want my tax money to pay no fucking liar. And I know for a fact that sooner or later, a liar is either going to hurt you or kill you. Because they're already lying to you. So you think they give a fuck about you? We are actually paying these assholes to lie to us. When are we going to wake the fuck up? The taxpayers. When the fuck are we going to wake the fuck up and demand that we get what we want for our money? Excellence in the police department. Because then the people will help the police by getting the fucking criminals off the streets. But we got to get the criminals out of the police department first.
Like a personnel file of each officer. I can do it now. Until we turn back down, I believe you go more checks and you don't have to get our ability.
And although, like Boss Hogg, the Hazard police chief thought that he was untouchable, in fact, he wasn't. Once again, YouTube exposes a tyrant, and now he's gone. This all happened on July 29th this year, when Dallas Campbell...
Racist or authoritarian, but the tactic remains.
Thank you. This should happen more often.
All enforcement as persecution and elevate yourself from suspect to symbol.
Thank you. This should happen more often. Always film the police. We're gonna get rid of all the bad police so we can have good people want to be police. Because the truth is the truth. No good person want to be around a fucking liar. No good person want to be around some fucking body that's bad and sneaky.
And started becoming a marketing strategy. In a world governed by narrative,
arrived at the Hazard Police Department to submit a Kentucky Open Records request. He walks into the public lobby of the police department, but the self-identified clerk who he encounters behind the glass immediately does not want to comply with his request.
I was going to have a method request, and I wasn't here early enough the other day. Yeah. That's why I got like 5 of them. No. Just like basic stuff. Like a list of unemployees and hire date and salary and then like which just like their person immediate.
this is no longer protest. It's
I got a YouTube channel.
a single viral arrest can be impacted
Like a personnel file of each officer. Or just like, yeah.
And conveniently,
I mean, not their actual like complaints and stuff like that. Just their their name, salary. Oh yeah, they will. That's absolutely public record. I ain't got that.
These are not
So everything, you really do.
Sorry you feel that way.
I'm trying to help you, but I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't.
I can't give you information on the officers. Now I can give you a list with their name on it.
Yeah.
I can't give you like their pay and stuff like that.
You know, the form.
to the most unprecedented active truth of this entire event.
You're the record yourself clerk. She's the record clerk.
The media
Yeah, but I don't do like it's like I do accident reports, man. Like, you know, I can give you the read, I can give you the company that has their report, that report. It's basically like the payroll clerk and stuff like that. I'm calling someone else to do that. So I don't
Yeah, that's all you gotta do. You fill it out on a blank sheet. The law says you can fill it out on a blank sheet of paper. Anything. You can fill it out on anything, a record request. I mean, I already got it if y'all want to give me a stamped copy. Huh?
And most of the time, they're
Huh?
Are you filming us?
Yeah.
During the interaction, the clerk and the chief Darren Williams, who's standing there watching the whole thing, they tell Dallas that it's illegal for him to be recording. Now, I have a copy of the lawsuit that was filed in September.
Grandmothers in red hats get federal charges.
It's
It's not just bias. It's structural.
Always record the police.
Brad Lander gets cuffed for obstructing law enforcement. It isn't just a procedural moment, like it's a tectonic one, a glitch in the matrix, a brief collapse of the firewall that usually protects the political class from the laws they impose on everyone else. Trump's message wasn't just
By
about
Dallas's lawyer, and that takes the position that it was not illegal under Kentucky law to film as Dallas was doing. Indeed, Dallas was not charged with the allegedly illegal act of filming inside the lobby of that police station. And I know this hasn't happened yet, but after Dallas was arrested, according to the lawsuit, while Dallas was waiting to be taken to the jail after his arrest, the clerk took his phone and deleted
Canvas kept rolling, but the actor broke down. Because when the cuffs came out,
Good day to you, young lady.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
All right. It's a hot one.
Oh, too hot. Too hot. Too hot.
Huh?
You're too hot, baby.
Gotta run for the shelter, gotta run for shade.
Shit. What you ate? That's
Nothing.
nothing. Oh,
You already know.
no.
Already know.
And I'm like, what the fuck? We gonna eat rocks? I just found out that
Right?
the bags of lettuce that I've been buying, oh my god, that shit's so fucking bad. It's ridiculous. I'm like, oh, I had to go in there.
Gonna have to do like we were saying. Somebody got to grocery.
You got to, G.
My boy, cousin, he got like acres and acres of land. He got all this, vegetables and fruits. And I'm like, you don't think you gonna run out? Because I'm getting something from him today.
Oh, you can't run out.
But I'm like, you're not gonna run out. Well, I mean, if everybody buys it from him, or gets it from him, he could run out.
Yeah, he could. Yeah,
But he said no. But he said no.
No,
I want to see the land.
because when you think about it, if it's cultivated right, it's constantly growing. Unless, like I said again,
Yeah, you're right.
They see, like I told you about that population control and them having that climate control machine and shit. See, when they realized that we start doing, that's why they were fucking laying up with this fucked up shit they putting in the air. That it's just bad because they don't want you growing your own shit because then it takes them out of the equator.
Yep.
It's bad, but we gotta get better. That's all. They said they wash my shit through 3 different type of bleachers, and then they put it in a bag that got some different type of oxygen in it to make it stay shelf lasting longer. And they say if you don't keep it in the refrigerator,
Yeah, but we keep doing all that looking and looking and looking and looking like that. We ain't gonna eat nothing. Because everything contains something that's gonna cause cancer or something. But we just gotta put out that good positive, good vibration.
That's it.
That not affect us.
That's it. But you still gotta be aware. You still gotta be aware of what you're putting in. You still gotta be. Everything got a process. Yeah, everything's a process. And everything is a process and a problem. When you look at the process that they made the problem into being. See, because none of our fucking food in the store should supposed to be no fucking problem for us. But they made a problem because they wanted to last longer so they can make the money off of it. You see, because like I said again, those fruits and vegetables don't last long. Nobody ain't buying them motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? So they wanted to last as long as they possibly last on the shelf while they selling the stuff. I'm like, nah, shit, let the shit decay and let the go use the rotten shit to make some more shit. You can but the process shit, you can't do nothing with that shit after they start to break down. Because it don't break down naturally like it's supposed to. So it's almost like you can't do nothing with the leftovers from that shit. And what we say, glucose is what holds everything together now. You can't get away from fucking sugar. Then your body makes sugar naturally. We fucking that up. Like I said again, we fucking up the natural order in the way that we're supposed to be thinking about what we're doing. And that's the problem right there. These bitches taught us to be backwards. We wanted to be them, they wanted to be us. Now it's all fucked up.
That's Didi calling me back, Didi.
All right, love.
I'm gonna call you right back.
All right. We all fucked up. I'm just saying.
Ruling class has treated laws like suggestions for everyone else. That's not democracy. That's aristocracy with better branding. And every now and then, when someone inside that aristocracy stumbles into the real world, the actual rules that govern people who don't host fundraisers, they don't know what to do. They call it injustice, they call it intimidation. But what they're really feeling is equality, and they hate it. Lander wasn't a threat to the system. He was the system until it stopped protecting him. And in that moment, what broke wasn't just a narrative, it was the illusion. No headlines, no hashtags, no heroics, just accountability. Unexpected, undeniable, and long overdue.
Long overdue. The truth is back now.